Howdy folks, and welcome back. We got some good news in the garage. First one is we got that new cab sitting here, and it's in for a floor pan replacement, which means, hey, this is the first video in that series, which is going to show you how to brace the cab. There's going to be numerous parts to this series, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of the following. But these are building blocks. This is the most important step to make sure it goes smoothly, make sure what you put in is what you want it to be, and make sure it's all aligned and just right where it needs to be. Okay, so don't miss any other videos. Make sure you're subscribed. Thank you for watching. And then the second bit of news is, guess what? We hit 300 subscribers, which is pretty groovy. The goal for this, I'm hoping by the end of 2021, the channel will have 1,000 subscribers. So that's just like a personal channel goal. So I appreciate everybody who's tuning in, everybody who's watching, and everybody who subscribes. Roughly, I mentioned it, but it's interesting that like 80 to 90% of the people who watch my videos over the whole history of the channel aren't subscribed, and they're returning. So if you're one of those people and you haven't subscribed, and for some reason you like seeing my ugly face that often, please subscribe to help me do what I do, and which is just helping y'all. So at any rate, stay tuned. Make sure that you watch this whole video and see all the different pieces of bracing I put in the cab. And might be a little bit, maybe a week or two before the next video, but in the next one you're going to see the floor pan come out, and probably how to prepare the front and the back and all that area in there for your new floor pan to go up in. Because obviously once you take this out, you might expose some problem areas, and I'll show you those and how to fix it and all that good stuff. So at any rate, thank you for watching, and let's restore a truck. Previously on this truck cab, you can see that I pretty much did a square with a cross. And then I had two pieces going down to the firewall in the front, and then three little short pieces in the back. Going back to the back of the cab where I have another piece of angle against the back of the cab. I did that just to add rigidity to it, and in case I wanted to flip it on its back, which a lot of people do to put in the floor pan. I didn't end up doing that. I ended up suspending it the whole time, but that's how I did the bracing here. This is pretty much the layout of the bracing. I've got a 60-inch piece in the back, and then a 70-inch piece from like the rear of the door jambs, like into the cab corner almost, and then a 65-inch piece from kick panel to kick panel. These cross pieces are 40.5. Then the pieces going out to the front firewall are 8 inches a piece, and then the three going back between these two sticks were 7. I had cross pieces in mine as well, and those were 68 inches a piece. So that's kind of the basic layout I'm going to use. I only have enough angle, I think, to do what you see here in the dark Sharpie, and I think depending on how far I get with that, I'll probably go by the scrapyard and get some stuff that they have. They had a bunch of 1/2-inch rebar, so I think I'm going to use that for the other stuff. And we'll go ahead and get rolling. Let's see, I need a 40.5. if you're interested in the saw, it's a cold cut multi-material saw. Um, I'll post the link in the description. It's a pretty awesome saw. I've probably cut, I don't know, 10 20 foot sticks through it, and it's still just sharp as butter. I believe it's like 230 bucks actually. This is an older model off of Amazon with all the code stuff going on. I don't know if they've got them in stock, but awesome saw. Never use an abrasive cutoff wheel ever again. The model number on it is R355 CPS multi-material 14-inch chop saw, and it's made by Evolution, or however you say that. Now I'm just going to go through a mark where I need to clean off some metal. So all I'm doing here is I'm gonna notch one side of the angle off so I can bend the tab a little bit, bend this over and make it kind of a tweaked tab to go inside the back door jamb, because it's kind of at an angle, like back inside the cab corner. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. I'll show you everything up close when I'm done. So back in these corners, so this was the tab that I was talking about. Hopefully you can see that. It just flanges over into the pillar. And then these three supports, I made sure to put them in this place where it is farther out on the back, because if you lay it over on the back, the pressure's going to be on these little ribs. So I put this angle right up against there and then just welded it in 3 places there. So what's left is I have a drop down from here over to the middle of the firewall on this side, same thing, and I will probably put one here too. My truck had a high hum, so it wasn't. This one I will do that on. Then we just have the cross pieces and then the diagonals. I've got enough to do the cross pieces tonight, but I'll have to go find something else to make the diagonals with. Alright, so as you can see, the only bracing I have left to do is the cross piece. I'm gonna go by the scrap yard and see if I can pick up some rebar to do that with. Let's see. I connected the front in 3 places, one about in the middle of the floor pan or the firewall, on the driver's side, about the middle of the passenger side, and I put one right here in the middle, just to prevent that from moving anywhere when the floor's out. And then hopefully you can see how this happened. Let's see here. So I attached the outer, or the one closest to the middle of the cab, to the back of the inner pillar, and then I just welded that one up against the back of the cab. And this also has 3 supports going across the back. Like I said, I'm going to put a diagonal in it, and I may put two possibly going up to the ceiling. I didn't put that in my other cab, and I don't think I need it, but it's just extra precaution to keep anything from moving. I had 0 movement in this like it is, so I followed the same pattern. I didn't put the middle brace in the front because I don't have the low hump, and there's so much rigidity there I wasn't worried about it. But since he has the low hump, went ahead and gave it a little extra precaution. So I'll be back when I've got some rebar or find something at the scrap yard to do our cross piece with. In previous videos I've mentioned I took numerous measurements from the bracing down to the existing floor pan and wrote them on the bracing. That way, once I get the new floor situated in place with some self-tapping screws, I can just triple check all my measurements. Additionally, across the back of the cab where the floor meets the back of the cab, I mark a line, and that worked out just fine on the last cab I did like that. But I'm also going to place little pieces of stock down from the bracing and weld it in place on the back side. That way, whenever I go to lift up the back of the floor pan into place and I'm trying to line it up with that line, I know for sure where the old one stopped. So it's kind of a additional safety factor to make sure I get the floor where the old one was. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put that type deal at the front, just because the way that you have to put the floor pan in the truck, which I've also mentioned this before, but you essentially have to put it up on the firewall lip, up and over the firewall lip and into place, and then you have to lift the back into place. And I think this will help me out significantly. That way it's kind of idiot proof. You know, we all have idiot moments. Okay, so for the most part, I don't think I'm going to add any more bracing to the cab. I think that's about ready for us to start cutting out the floor pan. Alrighty folks, there you have it. It's that simple. Bracing is in and the floor pan's ready to come out. Make sure you're subscribed, make sure you're looking out for the next video where you see that happen and we restore this truck.